We're doing minute 3, right?
Yeah.
Are you guys...
Yes.
Correct. Okay. Are you...
Until we start, and then we're actually doing 4, and you're still doing 3.
Oh, my God.
But,
okay.
No.
And Nudnik, a real bum.
The bad clowns freak him out.
It's some guy you know. It's some
It's
guy
a
you know.
podcast.
It's some guy you
How about
know.
some guy you
It's
know?
some guy you know. It's
If
some
you
guy
don't know,
It's some guy
then
you
you'll find
know.
out real
It's some guy you know.
soon. It's some guy you know. It's some guy you know. It's some guy you know. In it.
The UHF 60-second podcast is on the internet. We return with minute 3. I am joined by my co-host Jonathan Carlisle.
Hey, that's me, and you are David Johnson.
I
We say
am.
each other's names now.
Yep. We are also joined by the entire complement of the Indiana Jones Minute.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi there.
Thanks for coming back,
There
everybody.
they
I
are.
should have done that barbershop quartet style. Like, hello, hello.
Hello.
Okay, I have to a little bit of housekeeping here, guys. There was a weird thing in minute number 1, which one or two things is going to happen here. Either it was edited out, and so this explanation is superfluous, and nobody will know what I'm talking about, or people will be interested to know that there was a moment where I was gone. And I have mentioned the cats before. I was wrangling cats, so that's what happened.
Cat wrangling.
Cat wrangling. It's a little
usually
bit different
louder, but
usually it's a little different than kitten wrangling.
My apologies. Anyways, minute 3.
Minute 3. We do 62 seconds here at UHF 62, and I do have time codes for each one, but I just decided that 62 seconds is our minute, so I'm not going to deal with time codes. This is minute 3. Minute 3 starts with 2 people entering and ends with only 1 person remaining.
Like the Thunderdome.
Yeah.
Perm-topped curly man, who I still don't think he has said anything up to this point. Sorry, good Tom.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say I was excited at the beginning of this minute because when we started Raiders, which looks awfully similar to this opening, if you ask me. When we started Raiders years ago, they had amazing spider webs in the cave, and I was lamenting. I was pretty sad about the really lousy webs that they were going to have in Last Crusade, which we haven't gotten to yet, but we will. But these webs here are actually great. They're like
These are great
Raiders levels webs.
Yeah.
I noticed
so
that
good.
too, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't recall.
I mean, that $5 million, that's all right
yeah,
there.
it's all right there.
$4.5 million.
Did.
That's funny that you mentioned that. They actually comment on the commentary that much of the budget did go to the webbing. So
Well, it shows. Good work shows.
It does.
You think that's all one big spider?
Yeah, probably.
No.
That's like a Lord of the Rings type spider.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. Yeah.
Big one.
Yeah, if probably if they did this movie now, there'd be a lot more. This wouldn't just be an Indiana Jones montage. This would be like Indiana Jones, but then you might see a little Frodo run by or something like
Right.
that. There'd be all these little pockets of other things coming in.
Sure.
Does Weird Al have? I can't tell. Are these those glasses that get darker when you go outside?
They did not have that technology in 89.
Oh,
they
I
definitely
beg to
had
differ.
that.
Sean Haynes in grade school absolutely had those.
Totally.
Shout out
Really
to
80s.
Sean Haynes
Yep.
and his glasses.
And his glasses. He looked a lot like Weird Al, as a matter of fact,
Yeah.
Well,
without the mustache.
I hate those glasses so much because they look like just somebody you just can't make a decision. Either sunglasses
right,
or regular
right.
And
glasses.
it's like,
Pick
why are you
one.
wearing sunglasses inside, you dingling? Oh, I see. I'll just give it 5 minutes and then you'll look normal.
Well, aviators have
someone-
to have clear
Exactly.
glass sometimes, right? The real aviators.
Sure.
So they can
I
see
would think so.
and aviate.
But you know what's strange of all people to bring that up, Pete? You had an Oakley fetish for about 5 years.
Yeah.
Right around 80, mid 80, right around this era, like late 80s to early 90s.
Yeah, that's right. maybe. Yeah.
Now, Jerry, you said Oakley, as in sunglasses, not oak leaf. right? It's like oak leaf, which is a totally different fetish for Pete.
I did not have an oak leaf.
Why would you know that? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a subset of dendrophilia or something like that.
He still has that one. Yeah,
Excellent word.
He still has that one.
Not like, you lose your oak leaf fetish. I can't even say it.
Your oak leaf. Well, that was the original problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I stumbled on it and you just ran with it.
Sorry.
I'm sorry. Would someone mind kicking under the table? And I think George might be tickling. I
think he is.
What? What are you talking about?
No, I've just been working on my.
Someone kicked him again.
Hello, friends. I'm getting really good at doing George.
No, Pete, you got to say it. Hello, friends.
Hello, friends. See how good I am, Jonathan?
That's how you do it.
You sneaky dog. Oh yeah, there's Zencaster just puts two of my tracks in there for some reason. I don't know.
I was just walking by and saw a bunch of weirdos sitting around a microphone. I thought I'd pop in and say hello.
World famous podcaster and host of the Mogwai Minute, George Hendricks.
Yeah.
Hey. What? Oh, he's here? Where? Oh.
No, it's just a recording. Don't worry about it.
He and I are never in the same room at the same time, so it's confusing.
And I'm his co-host, Neil.
Hello. Blimey.
Now, we already heard from Neil.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pop in real quick and say that I love UHF, but the movie that they are spoofing right now is one of my least favorite movies of all time. It's such a hackneyed piece of crap. It's like Raiders of the Lost Temple of Crusading Doom or something. I don't remember what it's called. It's ridiculous. Every time it comes on, I turn it off immediately and leave the room.
Wow. You're more a King Solomon's mind man, aren't you?
Are you kidding me? That's amazing. Red Sonja any day, but Temple of Doom, no.
Sorry.
So you sticking around, George, or what?
No, I have other things to do. I'm just going to leave now.
Okay.
How do I get out of this thing?
Footsteps.
You just have to leave.
It's like when Bob Hope would just sort of show
up
on
know.
the Tonight Show.
That's my Foley.
We had to drop out of the bottom last time when everybody was here, so that's the only way we know how.
Yeah. We may have left that door open, so watch your step.
Is Jovito's trademarked?
I never noticed that until I was breaking down these minutes and actually looking at all the text and everything. I was like, oh my goodness, they say the words.
That's classic.
They're not shying away from anything.
Yeah, we get guessed. I guess 2 or 1. I can't remember which one. I think he's 2. He's stupid.
This is guide 2.
Yes, guide 2. The guest guide. He says it is an ancient sacred Jovito symbol, and Jovitos is capitalized.
But it's when he says it, like I got that for my captioning. But then when he said it, it sounds like he said like Javitas, like we have to change it. It's like Wanderbread or like
he wasn't a real fan.
Yeah, like you just got to change one letter.
Wanderbread.
Well, if you look, he's kind of dealing with. I think he's got the web stuck to his foot from stepping through the hole, so it might have messed up his translation a little bit.
Can somebody tell me anything about a Billy Barty?
I can.
I was wondering about.
He's
Billy
one of
Barty.
I can tell you a little something about him.
He's in one of my
a little
favorite movies. He was. If you ever saw The Gold Diggers of 1933? It was the famous pre-code big musical Busby Berkeley movie, and he plays a baby who escapes from his stroller. But it's yeah.
Whoa. Wow.
You know what I love? This is what I love about Pete is you kind of wind him up.
Put a nickel in.
Yeah, you put a nickel in. You ask a little question.
Yeah, I've got a couple. I obviously, like you said, he's been in a million things, but I had to single out a 2 specific things, which was kind of like the best and the worst of in my mind. And I'll start with the worst. So Billy Barty was in The Bugaloos, Sid and Marty Krofft's The Bugaloos, and a couple others.
Oh
yeah.
Wow!
I loathe all the Sid and Marty Krofft stuff. So
it's evil. It's pure evil.
I own most of it, and I watch it a lot, but I hate it. Yeah. And then the best is he's also in Radioland Murders for just a minute, which is another Spielberg Lucas thing.
Yeah.
He's also in Willow, which is also related to that.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
To the George Lucas verse.
And he's still alive, right? Oh, no, he died in 2000.
Yeah,
Nope, he died more than a couple years ago, I guess.
Oops.
Yeah, you're 18 years late. Your condolences.
I've heard that
Billy Barty.
more than once in my life.
And is the Victoria Jackson the same Victoria Jackson that I might know?
Yeah,
I don't
same
mean
alive.
like...
I don't know. Do you know all of the people in this
I know,
movie?
yeah. No, the Victoria Jackson from... wasn't she
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, she gets an as credit. Does anybody know where the origin of that is? I tried to figure that out, and I couldn't. Everybody else just gets their names up there, but she gets an as Terry.
I don't know. I mean, even in the context of this movie, I don't know why that particular one is picked out, unless it's something in her contract or something. But Terry is certainly not the first character that pops into people's minds. This says that she was on Saturday Night Live from 86 to 92.
Oh, there you
so,
go.
Yeah,
It is.
definitely.
When was Fran Drescher? This was after the nanny, right? Like this was when she was.
No, this is before the nanny.
Oh, okay. So she's still an up and comer.
Yeah, and I seem to think that I kind of knew who she was too, but maybe she's just so loud and brash that I was like, well, I guess there she is.
She must have done other things before the nanny.
She was in Spinal Tap.
Oh yeah.
She was in Spinal Tap.
A lot of these people that we get to see the credits for here, we don't actually see for a while. So we can definitely talk more about him. The one name that I do like on this whole list of credits that we see is John Paragon, which he definitely has a memorable part in the movie, but I didn't find out till much later that he was also involved with Pee-wee and Pee-wee's Playhouse. And
Oh, wow.
he played a couple different characters there, and I think he's been in the background of a lot of things that I didn't realize until I started looking through. Did you have any notes on John Paragon there, David?
Yeah, I found I didn't know until I was researching for this, but saw that he was Jambi the genie on Pee-wee's Playhouse, and I got really excited. And then I realized that there's not really much Jambi the genie info out there. So he was one of my favorite parts of that show as a kid. So
Mecca high.
I actually just looked him up because I wanted to know if that was one of them Hollywood fancy names, John Paragon, and that
sounds like a good
yeah,
one.
exactly, Lester Goldenrod, but that's his real name. He was born in Anchorage, Alaska.
To the Paragons of
the
Anchorage? The Anchorage Paragons?
the Anchorage Paragons. That's an interesting name to have, though. I wonder if it was like Paragonowski or Paragonetti or O Paragon, and they did one of them.
Oh, Paragon.
One of them Ellis Island tricks or something. I don't know, maybe not.
Fitzparagon.
Yeah.
Well, this is so far cast of thousands. They have all kinds of people in here.
Yeah.
Which is what I would expect of Weird Al.
Yeah, the funny thing is, I'm not sure how they got these in order. After John Paragon and Fran Drescher, we see Sue Ann Langdon. She's memorable. She plays George Newman, his aunt, later in the movie. We still don't see her for a few more minutes.
Esther.
But then the two guys that are on screen with her, David Proval and Grant James, they're just thugs later in the movie. They don't even have names.
Huh.
So
Thug one, thug
it's
two.
weird.
Yeah.
No. They
Yeah,
have
pretty
more
much.
differentiation actually than Guide 1 and Guide 2.
Well,
They're so you got David as head thug and Grant as killer thug. So much more thought went into those two characters.
although I already have other names for those guys, but we can get there when we get there. So the actual minute, as they're crawling through this cave, crawling through the webs, and they see the Jovito symbol. Now, obviously, we see the symbol, and it looks silly. Kind of doing a side-by-side to the actual one that's in Raiders. It is different. It's certainly not exactly the same, but it's not that different. Or it's not as different as I thought it would be for this one, making a silly
Raiders
face.
had the snaggletooth.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, that's right.
Oh,
I
right.
remember. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think both of the symbols in the movies, in Raiders and in UF, they do look like fertility symbols, no matter where you're going with it.
Oh, hey, guys, hold on a second. Something's coming in. Coming in over the wire.
Oh my God.
I feel usurped.
This just in from Caleb Carlisle. If the silly face means certain death for anyone who enters, what do the other faces mean?
Well, the one means Weird Al.
Maybe they are not certain death, so they cancel each other out. Like a zero-sum symbol.
It's that
That doesn't make a lot of sense.
That type of temple, huh?
Yeah, Caleb's going to make me do math. Oh.
Yeah, I think he is, yeah.
It's no different than a regular straight-up Catholic church.
So which other symbols is he thinking of?
It's a good question. I did notice
Like,
there are
tell
some...
me about these symbols. Remind me which symbols.
Yeah, I don't know. We don't see any other symbols in this minute, but I guess later on we see some other statues.
Temple, yeah.
There are some other faces
I thought
behind.
I thought there was like a quilt on the wall. There was a quilt with a flower. Am I thinking of the wrong minute?
Maybe.
I'm the only one who saw the stone quilt.
You're watching another
Okay.
version of Indiana Jones.
The stone quilt. So when they step through the web and this guy speaks, were they actually like waiting for the credits to finish? Because we get credits until they step through and then they start talking. I guess I've never noticed a movie to do that necessarily, or maybe I'm not paying attention. Maybe they do that all the time, but it seemed pretty good, especially as we have the actual text on the screen. It's kind of a nice play where you don't have double text.
Yeah.
Does, does Indy remind you of Tom Selleck with the perm and the mustache?
I was just going to say.
I don't think that's
we
funny.
talk a lot about...
Tom Selleck is a very handsome man.
What do we think of Weird Al's mustache here?
It's legit.
Yeah.
It's the Weird Al
Wait, I want
mustache.
to go back to Jonathan's question. So, does that always happen? Is that always a thing that nobody talks ever over credits?
Like in this movie, or
I don't
ever
know.
in cinema?
Ever.
I can't say that's the case.
I'm sure they do, but for some reason it struck me that this time they just waited for it to be done, and then they're like, okay, now it's the talking time.
I like that. It's almost like an airplane movie. Like they're like purposely watching the credits on the screen,
right.
And they're like, okay, now we talk.
I like the division in the mustache. I've never been able to figure out if he just doesn't grow hair exactly in the middle there, or if that's like some kind of a grooming thing.
Yeah.
Well, what's weird is it looks like when you have a mustache like that, and if you can't grow hair in the middle, it looks exactly like the hair is flowing out of your nostrils, with each individual nostril sort of has
its own mustache.
Yeah, as its own. It's like a flowing hairy tunnel.
Yeah.
All right, pop quiz, Jared. What's the name of the space between your nostrils and your lip?
Flowing hairy tunnel.
Oh God!
Don't say upper. It's not upper lip.
What is it? I never took
the little
sex.
ditch.
The little ditch. I never took sex ed.
Okay, now I'm all flummoxed.
The little ditch, really?
There's a name. Well, if you don't know, I'm not telling.
No, we'll
I know.
If you,
No,
yeah.
never
Come
know.
on, it's a show. You got to say the name.
It's your frenulum. There.
What is it?
Frenulum?
Your frenulum. So he has a
Yeah, for that guy, it's naked.
Yeah, he has
It's a naked
he has a
frenulum.
glabrous frenulum.
Clearly glabrous.
Yeah, I've never stared at it this long.
Well, you're welcome.
Is a perm and a mustache as disturbing as a mustache and a whistle?
Ooh. Well, you know what's tough is the whistle implies action or perversion.
Uh-huh.
Whereas I think the whistle's worse.
What if he permed the mustache?
Oh boy.
I think it would look like what's below his belt. If I had to guess. If I had to guess.
Oh, all right.
Does Weird Al have a perm, or is that his hair just that kind of glossy, curly?
It's always curly, even nowadays when he's grown it out long and kind of straightened it, but it's still certainly wavy.
Yeah, I think he's.
So
I think
I
that's
don't know.
actually pretty natural. I don't know if it's ever really permed necessarily.
Everybody I knew that had a perm in the 80s, my mom used to go to a bowling league, and all the men in the bowling league had perms and mustaches.
Did you ever date anybody with a perm, Chriser?
Yeah.
I knew it!
What's your point?
You used to sneak off and go bowling, didn't you?
I am not going to name names, Jer. Just not going to.
Yeah. That was a thing in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
Jonathan and David, were you guys too young to have perms?
Yeah, I was too young to make those kinds of decisions.
I was too cool, and also too young, and also too poor. My mom cut my hair, so.
My mom used to give herself the home perm, and that smell. I will never forget that smell.
Oh, God.
Oh.
It's like a rancid Jiffy Pop.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah.
Well, then do we get
Jonathan,
our first, our?
Well, we get.
I was kidding. Let's say it all in unison. Or not. Let's be.
Go ahead, Terry.
Then do we get our first big gag of the movie?
No.
You
missed it.
Oh.
Aww.
The first big gag was in minute 2, but this is a good gag too.
Why?
It's a good gag.
I was silent
like
and not laughing in minute 2.
He didn't say a word during minute 2.
Yeah, so the ancient symbol, certain death to anyone who enters, but it's not until he leaves that he dies.
Yeah.
Is that reminiscent of like Last Crusade when they're in the temple, everything's fine. It's not until they try to take it out. Or
I've
like
watched-
Forrestal was,
but he's not
was
taking
killed
anything out
outside
yet.
of the temple, right?
So this would be a case of stay off of the tracks instead of stay out of the light.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or stay in the cave
Well,
where
I
a
guess
train can't fit.
he still steps into the light, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe it's still true.
I'm dying to know how they filmed this because it looks pretty amazing. Guide 2, like he jumps backwards, almost like he's doing a backflip or something. It's almost like he's
Before the train.
he's like blown away. It's like the train has a big fan on front.
Maybe he was hoping he could jump over top of it.
Oh, maybe.
Well, it's a shame. Weird Al doesn't seem to be concerned about his.
He doesn't at all.
No.
In true indie
In
fashion.
true indie fashion, he's not concerned about guide number 2.
It's really, really quick, but when they first cut back to Weird Al, he gives like this really quick like eye roll, like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he just did that.
It also looks like if you slow it down, it looks like they took a model train and kind of blew it up. Like they kind of green screened it or something. As soon as he jumps out, like gets blown out of the way.
Is that what it is?
It's a nice shot though. It was actually some nice work.
Yeah, I don't think his feet quite leave the frame before the train comes in, so it's a nice matching of everything together. That's about it for this minute, unless anybody else has anything to say. But I think we've gone from beginning to end anyway.
Well, I did want to talk about, you'd mentioned how Al has longer hair now, and that ties into something that I was thinking about earlier this week. If this were to be made today, if were to be made today, I don't know that Weird Al would choose Raiders or Indiana Jones. So I was thinking that something similar to this kind of a daydream would be probably Tomb Raider, because there's a new Tomb Raider coming out.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
a good
that's
idea.
right.
Yeah.
I would like to see Al as Lara Croft because he has the hair for it. And he kind of has the physique that I think he would not look that bad in the short shorts and the halter top.
And he'd do it too.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He
he'd totally do
wouldn't
it.
mind. Yeah.
I didn't know if there was something
good point.
else modern, what you could do for kind of like an adventurer dream sequence, fantasy sequence besides that these days. Anybody?
Wonder Woman?
Oh, that's good.
I would watch
in a little
Al as
suit,
Wonder
I can
Woman.
see that, yeah.
Yeah, was this? Do you think it was because Last Crusade was coming out at the same time that they did the indie tie-in, or do you think that was
I
just?
feel like he probably would have done it around then anyway, just because it was, Raiders was still Raiders, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Raiders has that nice kind of cold open where you're just jumping in. You get these characters coming out, and Indiana Jones himself isn't really revealed right away. I don't know. You get these nice moments, just like we do in the beginning of UHF here. This very memorable film moments. I think a lot of people, even if they didn't see the movie, they probably knew something about it. But this guy with the hat and the whip, that's an adventurer, and some of the things that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like last minute, the thing that you missed was that we lost guide number 1.
Oh, of course.
And
Yes.
so the guy who pulls the gun on Indy, I think everybody's familiar with that kind of stuff. So I think it's a good way to start your
Walrus
movie.
Man.
Especially I like the fact that he's
fashion.
not. Yeah, pretty much. So do we have any more people kicking under the table? Or did we route them all out?
Might have rooted them all out.
Okay. Let's save for the next minute that you guys are with us anyway. your histories here, but where are you guys actually from, and where can people find you?
Oh, I can't be found anywhere. Sorry, I didn't understand that
You're on
question.
the run.
Yeah, he's on the lam.
Yeah.
Witness protection.
Ran off with that permed bowler.
We are actually from the Indiana Jones Minute, and we're doing all the Indiana Jones movies 1 minute at a time. We've done Raiders, we've done Temple of Doom. We're in the middle of Last Crusade as we record this, and I guess that's it because there's only 3 movies, right?
Yeah.
Hooray! Yeah. So you can find us at IndianaJonesMinute.com and find our shows and have a ball.
What about us, David? Who are we, and where do they find us?
We are us, and you can find us at UHF 62. Nope. This is only my second time doing this. I apologize. At UHF 62ND on Twitter, or UHF 62ND at gmail.com. Or you can join our Facebook group, Town Talk. And you can also go to MySpace and find us on MySpace.
You might have to get in your Wayback Machine for that one.
Yeah.
But, it's going to get really confusing if we start calling it UF 60 second. People aren't going to know how to spell any of that.
No.
Oh, should I spell UHF?
Now how do we get out of here? Don't go through the. You probably shouldn't go through the door.
That's right.
We saw what happened
leave.
to that.
All right.
I think we got to stay
That's
here.
certain death.
Oh, wait a minute. Here comes a train.